Good morning, everybody.
Hi.
How are you? You okay?
It's bright and sunny.
It's bright. So you alright?
I'm squinting even with my glasses
I
on.
know. We're in Gloucestershire today. Literally very shy away from Stroud.
Yeah.
Literally, like 10 minutes, if that,
Yeah.
down the road. We are today at one of the Cotswold Severn, and if you've seen my channel before, we've done Wayland's Smithy before. As we're recording this, we'll probably catch on and do a few more of these Cotswold Severn as we go, but for now, this is another one, and we are in Nympsfield Long Barrow.
Yeah.
What's really interesting about this one, now I've never done this before, which excites me because we love our Neolithic sites and our early ancient ancestor sites. For all you people out there, let's be basic on this for today. I like trying to do that just because some of you might not have a clue about the history of these types of things, and there's no point in me sort of like talking to you as if you know everything on this, because even I don't know everything on this. But what's interesting about this, if you haven't seen already in the footage, actually, can you guess what's different about this one? If you haven't, well, you have to stay tuned. We'll see what I did there. I teased them. I'm naughty. See ya.
Situated on the high Cotswold scarp of Coley Peak, overlooking the Severn Valley, are the ruins of Nympsfield Long Barrow. Constructed in the Neolithic period around 5,000 years ago, all that remains of this burial place and barrow is an uncovered chamber and small mound. Almost oval in shape, the barrow measures around 98 feet from east to west and 82 feet from north to south. Two horned projections at the eastern entrance set this apart from other long barrows, indicating to a possible ceremonial style and function. Sadly, ploughed over time and the roof removed, the chamber is now exposed, but allows an interesting view to the inside of these types of burial sites. The entrance stones and passage lead through to an antechamber with a pair of side chambers. Constructed of oolite type limestone, the pillar stones measure a maximum height of around 4 feet. First excavated in 1862 by Professor Buckman, and with further excavations by Mrs. Clifford in 1937 and 1974, the remains of at least 13 human skeletons have been found, as well as Neolithic pottery and many animal bones. Uncovered in the northern burial chamber was an unusual find of a child skeleton enclosed in a stone coffin. The excavations found Neolithic pottery within the chamber entrance, suggesting that the gallery was closed before the end of the Neolithic period. Despite being situated in a popular picnic and walking area, Nympsfield Long Barrow still holds a peaceful and quiet energy. Offering a unique view to the inside of these ancient burial places, Nympsfield is well worth a stop and explore should you be in the area.
Welcome back, everybody. Soph's just getting some photos.
Yes.
First thought. Well, okay, we're gonna reveal a bit of backstage secrets here. We came here yesterday.
Oh yeah, scouts.
We don't like talking about it too
No.
much, but it was too busy
There was lots of scouts
yesterday.
walking through.
Not that it matters to you, but we spent a beautiful night in a shepherd's hut just around the corner. In fact, if you look at Sophie's Instagram, you'll probably, depending on whether this video comes out, but there will be tales of this wonderful journey of us just exploring some really interesting Neolithic history around Gloucestershire. We've also, as we're recording this as well, done down the road, which is Ewley Long Barrow as well. We didn't really want to say too much. Ewley had about 22 individuals remains. This has got about 20. And what's interesting about this one is what we were going to reveal to you. It's open. So the chamber itself, the whole mound that would have been covering it, has gone. So actually, instead of us normally going into it like this, it's actually the whole mound has just been completely removed, and so it exposes the chambers themselves. So as you're walking into the main corridor, the main section, let's try and talk in layman's terms to all of you, you've got individual chambers that are in this barrow site. And the idea was that there's always speculation, and I'm sure the beautiful thing about this, and I've said this in every single Barrow site, so I apologise for sort of speculating this. The mindset always differs, because the fact of the matter is we don't really know why they were buried the way they were, why the remains were the way they were. My best theory that I love, that I always stick to at the moment, and I'm sure people will argue and change their thoughts and feelings, is that what you normally find is you find scattered remains of bits of bone of individuals, which is quite common even in this one. So the theory is, well, why are we not finding whole skeletons? Or why sometimes we aren't finding whole bodies? Now, that's not everywhere, and that's different, and there are different examples, but the theory normally that I've always adjusted, blimey, slow down, is that what they revered was the fact that the bones were probably the more sacred part of the body, and that the flesh was really just a portal for the ancient ancestors. So in other words, it was the bones that held us up that they found more important than the flesh. Which is why sometimes there would be sites that there's every possibility that the bones and, well, the body would have been eaten away, and then all that's left obviously is the bones. And then what happens is then they might bring the bones in, and they might have certain bits of their loved one that they might have cherished, maybe. I'm not saying anything, by the way, that other people haven't sort of mentioned before, and I think that's really important to sort of like say that. And actually, like, I do realise it. The fact of the matter is we still don't know. I don't think we ever will, really. We can have beautiful guesses and stuff like this, and I think this is why I find this so interesting. What's interesting about this one, on top of that, which you probably saw anyway, was that it's got two horns. So we've got, on this site, we've got basically two oval shapes or semicircular shapes. They're classed as horns for some people, and they follow round. And if Sophie's there, if you stay there for me, Sophie, something you may have seen on the drone footage coming in, Sophie's right standing in the centre of the chamber, and then as we look to our left and we look to our right, there is a significant curvature on this, and it was surmised that might have been purposely designed for a more ceremonial procession. So the idea is that because it curves around, that it leads you into that and makes it a more of a ceremonial type of suggestion. And because it's a long barrow, as I climb up here, I really don't like doing this, if I'm honest, because I know that everybody does it, but it is, you know, I'm very sacred to our ancestors and my beliefs and stuff. But as we stand up here, originally the Long Barrow would have carried on and continued further on, hence the name Long Barrow. We've seen many different on this channel, many different tumuli, but as Sophie's here, you can now see from a different angle where she's right at the entrance point. And then as she walks in, if that's okay, Sophie, you can then see the individual chambers of where the bones were found. And on this one, like I said, normally, say Sophie's right in the centre of it, she would have been covered over with soil and more stone as well. And now obviously what's happened is that, yeah, and then it's been left over. And the idea is that what they've always surmised, especially with chambered Long Barrows, is that it's a procession, it's something very sacred. The idea you come through that way as a sort of like form of ritualistic nature. And then, like I said, you'd find individual bones sort of scattered within. I'm going to come to you, Sophie, if I walk down here, because I know the beautiful Phoenix History viewers might not be able to hear you. But I've got to ask. Thoughts and feelings, if you please.
It's pretty, I say, the fact that most long barrows are covered over, it's nice to see what they would look like this. It's a shame it's not covered, but actually.
Yeah. I mean, we went to Ely.
Yes.
And that is a very different experience. And we've got to say, depending on when that comes out, 10 out of 10.
Yes. But actually, I quite like this one
Yeah.
as well. I think because you can see the design.
For context, Ely is literally 5 minutes down the road.
Not even that.
Not even that. So it's quite, it's obvious to state that there would have been a connection between them. And what you saw at the very beginning was how high we are up, overlooking Stroud's over there, overlooking basically the hillside.
Well, we're overlooking the Severn into Wales.
We are actually, yeah.
The Severn River.
And you've got to imagine that they purposely do this for a design status to show. You know, it's like markers, really. We've seen that so many times with our ancient ancestors. They need to be shown off in whatever way. And it's remarkable. I love it.
Yeah, I do actually.
It's very cool. Worth coming back. We were a bit dubious about coming back because of how busy it was on the first go. But no.
Worth it.
Worth it. Definitely worth it. Well, everybody, I think we've talked about it long enough. You had your history lesson to begin with anyway, which obviously hopefully covered enough anyway that we've already said. Anything else?
Stone's really smooth.
Lovely smooth stones, because so many people have visited this.
Lovely.
In your more words of Vince history, thank you so much for joining us. Check out Sophie's Instagram page for some fantastic photos and obviously some extra drone footage. We will of course see you all very soon. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Cuphead.